Hey guys, Capadonna Studios here, looking to do a quick video update of the current build for Imaginations. Um, Currently watching this guy wander around, probably gonna be cutting that tree down there, right? Yes, he is. Okay, so we've made a bit of progress over the last few months, mainly with regards to the town, City Sim mode, various menus for the game, and overall we're getting very close to pushing the next build out, which would allow people to control City Sim mode, building up the city, controlling the various jobs that each of the NPCs can accomplish. So first thing I want to show is the City Sim mode, which is right here. So City Sim functions like your traditional Sim City, City Skylines kind of controls. We are dealing with more the scale of something like Banish, if you guys, if anybody's played that at all, where you're dealing with all the individuals. So your typical controls that you've seen in most City Sim RTS kind of games, zooming in and out, rotation, things like that are fully working. You would be able to select individuals on here to get more information or click on a building, and then you have your various options, funds, food, resources, satisfaction, reputation for your town, various supply and demand needs, name of your town, the different types of building categories, and then the building itself you're selecting to place them down. So this is your traditional system getting in here right now. We do see some of the buildings are showing up. This middle building here, which is not fully designed yet, Victor's going through and actually building it out right now, is your town center. So this is going to house the Great Hall, which is going to be the ability for you to interact and enter this mode here. Your well, which will be eventually right where he's marked it over here, where it's your central water supply, and the Great Fire, which will be right here in the middle, which is where the citizens all congregate during the day, central meeting place. The rest of the buildings, we see quite a few of them around here, are have various types. This is your Napper building. I'll actually run over there in a second. My guy's kind of hanging out over here, which can be your initial tool design. What else do we got around here? This is the inn, and the trees are building. We still haven't cut that out yet. So your central area will be a future meeting place as well as where you would handle quests and building parties and things like that. And this is the, I want to say the Weaver Hut. I'll double check on there for it, but your initial clothing. And then I don't believe the other building, yeah, these are all the placeholder buildings that Mike had made. The other ones should be the Shaman Hut, which will be your religious construct, and one other which I forget offhand right now. But you'll start off with 6 buildings, including the town center, and then they will start to build the tier 1 buildings as they research various aspects. So your town center will eventually have a stockpile, currently covered by the ground here, for raw resource gathering will be placed there, and then the storehouse is for all food supplies. So that is the RTS mode. You'll be able to jump back and forth between those as if you are the leader. We will give everybody access to the leader to start off for the Kickstarter build coming out here, and then eventually you'd have to go through politics. So of the buildings, you've got your Napper Hut, so we'll go run over there real quick here. And this will be the area that is building various tools from flint crafting. So they'll be building outside here. Each of these buildings are both a home and a business. So they have their living place for up to 5 people, storage, a general area for eating and talking amongst family or workers, and then for this one, the merchant area and the workshop would be outside. The other buildings, which I think they were over here, let's head over there real quick. Let's see here, running through the town center. Yeah, so these are the markers he placed down for where those 2 pieces are going to be at. Oh, we've added transparency also. The old build didn't have this, so we're still fixing the leaves up a bit. And this is one of the bugs we're trying to fix right now. It should be a pretty easy fix here. So yeah, here's the M. We actually also recently got custom meshes, imported meshes in, so the grass you see here is our first test for that. So we'll be able to import curved objects, so your barrels and grass and plants will come in like this. And then the complex blocks, which are the small blocks, are just smaller blocks that you're allowed to build with. gives us a lot more detail while still keeping everything within the whole blocky control of our game itself. But yeah, here's the inn. So you have like a meeting area. This will be actually expanded out a bit. Outer area will be basically a merchant stall inside to sell beer and bread and things like that. And then the inner area will be a centralized sleeping area. And then we get the building over here. So these are still being built out right now. Victor's still designing a lot of this stuff here. We should have a lot of the buildings done pretty soon. Now, outside of that, let me see. As you saw the guy earlier running over here, we have some basic AI built in. We've expanded out quite a bit, but they are recognizing various objects. So we currently have him running, finding a nearby tree, digging it out. Once the stockpile's in, he's going to return the wood over to that. So it's our basic building blocks for NPCs in the town to actually go through and interact with the world. And then obviously from that point is moving between buildings and doing meaningful tasks. Every NPC is meaningful within this game. There are no filler. So everybody has a purpose. They're going to be moving around the towns appropriately. And if you interact with them positively or negatively, there is some kind of outcome, even if it's not completely apparent. Beyond those, we have a lot of the game modes fully fleshed out right now, and we're going to get them hooked up right now. So inventory, pretty standard. Grid, ability to search, various categories, the equipment you have, left and right. Bottom part here is what we call the loadout. So what you're using for the Q buttons will basically be consumables, potions. G is not shown on here right now, but that's for your grenades, for anything you throw. And Z is a skill plugin for in the abilities. And then this would be your loadouts. So this would be what's in your left and right hands. So you can do sword and shield, sword and torch, sword and pickaxe, whatever you're doing to interact with the world. You can set up 6 different loadouts for it. Character breaks down your stats and your skills, what the skill is, what it involves with it, overview, etc., etc. Status is your current status of your character. Any parts are injured. Your name, your title, a brief history. You can basically play out and design a history for a character. Abilities, all the different abilities you have accessible to you and what they do, as well as the Spellmaker tab, which allows you to go and design out spells based off of our 8 rune system we have in here. We'll go into more in depth of that in the future. Quests, what you're active, what are inactive, what you've actually accomplished so far, any rumors you've gained, which this is basically your miscellaneous area. Anything you've heard just shows up in here. You can turn these into active or inactive quests by going and talking to people or shifting them over to it so it doesn't clutter your actual journal. Blueprints, everything that you've interacted with blueprint-wise, every building, every weapon, every armor that you have an actual physical blueprint will show up in here, along with the information, what resources need to make it, who sells it, everything you possibly could use to figure that out. Culture we're still fleshing out. This is basically your reputation with every faction, every culture, every town within the world, how they view you, which will play very heavily into the game. Notes, this is basically Notepad. You want to type notes out that help you out, you're free to type whatever you want in here. We're going to probably have ways to connect the notes to the map. So you can type yourself notes here and then plug it into a marker within the map. And then map will be a map. So it's pretty self-explanatory for that one there. So that's basically it right now. We have a lot more stuff we're working on currently. We're going to try to be pushing a new build, I would hope, in the next few weeks here. We're still ironing out a few various issues with it and getting the last few buildings in. But the next build will be focusing on you being able to build out the town the way you want, interact with the various NPCs to give them different tasks, and start really fleshing out the City Sim mode of our game. From there, we're going to be getting into RTS mode. This will be your Age of Empires, StarCraft, where you're doing more military-minded versus city building. And then global RTS, which will be your civilization, Crusader King, stuff like that, where you're dealing with an entire culture and all the towns involved with it. So there are next 3 things on the agenda, and then we're going to be shifting back to first and third person RPG elements, quests, dialogue, stuff like that. And then we'll be leading into our Kickstarter, which we are currently aiming for, I hope, sometime during the summer, maybe August, but it really depends on how well we can get these features working. We want everything to be 100% before we go to that build. That build for Kickstarter will be the entire prehistoric build, 100%, no strings attached, to be able to play this game without any issues, no limitations. So we won't be launching Kickstarter until we are 100% confident that you're getting a full game out of it with all the technology we'll have there. So Thank you for watching, and we should be trying to push these kind of little movie development updates every week, every 2 weeks now moving forward as we're pushing a lot more content. So we'll be seeing you guys in 2 weeks.